Leonard Rifkin in Belarus, 1939. Except I grew up when war is finished. We got outside of our apartment children who didn't have parents. They was either killed in a war, or Stalin killed them in concentration camp, Stalin's camps. But children was without anybody. So they slept, some of them in a big pipes, sewage pipes, in the basements, empty. And I grew up with them. And with them, they fought for every piece of bread. So I got to live with them. So we fought together, and we still together. Whatever crime we did it together. Children, 10, 9, 11. The bigger one, they got big gangs. In our family, in close family, 13 people. Some of them we lost in terrible way. Some of them was killed when they fought Nazi. But 3 kids, one boy 9 years old, and a girl 15, and another girl 17, was sent by my grandpa in safe place in the village, in Ukrainian village, and became Germans in a Gomel, also Belarus, but different city. So when Nazis came on the 3rd or 5th day, they, together with Ukrainians helpers, they got all Jews together out from their houses where they used to live. It was like 40, 50 persons, including these 3, one boy and 2 girls. And they got them to the forest, and they want to shoot them. The oldest girl, Chaya, she escaped. They shoot in her, but she was running, and she escaped safely, and she watched all execution of her. So she said it was screaming and yelling. People put the children and said, save them, shoot us, but not them. So she found the partisans who in forest fighters with Nazis, and they accept her, and she was whole war with them, and she married them. This is from my mother's side. From my father's side, he got 2 sisters in Orsha with family. Everyone got 4 kids. When Germans started to come, they left. They want to evacuate, but it wasn't unsuccessfully because Germans hit the trains and rails, and they couldn't escape. So they came back. When they came back, their houses already filled up with neighbors, and they said it's not your houses, and they kill all of them, children and the sisters and their husbands. Belarus, the people.
The Germans.
This is not Germans. This is not Germans. Just Germans was coming. Germans was coming, but this is the neighbors. It's terrible. So this war did it, except when Germans did it, the others who did it with their help, or they got stronger because they knew somebody comes on their side. This is my aunt. Actually, she aunt of my mom, but I called her aunt. She got a husband who is our relative, and he was a mohel. And because of this, he was arrested, and he was shot to death. And he is a brother of my grandma. So he was in our house when he escaped over there, because it's illegal to do. Then they arrest my grandpa for not to telling government about him. They put him on 7 years in Gulag, in concentration camp on north of Soviet Union. This is Ladoga, the Lake Ladoga. So over there, nobody survived more than a year because it's impossible. Very hard labor because you have to dig stone. And nothing, no clothes, no food, nothing. And he, you see, when he left by miracles, he frozen because he wasn't dressed. I have to walk, I have to walk. I will be alive as long as I walk. But then he couldn't walk anymore. And Jäger is a guy whose job is to look the forest. And he was going on the same path where my grandfather was laying. So she got him on himself, and he brought him to his house and made him alive. And he risked, because if somebody would find, he would go to jail without mercy. But he and his wife, when he left this guy, Jäger gave him a document, like a paper from prison, from another prison, not from this, on a name of guy who passed away. This document is written to say that this so-and-so man is released from prison when he was there by charge of this and this and that. My father was transferred to be a director of power plant, and it started war. So we got from there on the horses. It was very difficult to get to the train because, so my father supposed to disable all the power plant, put first on a train, and then we got over there, and everybody wants, and people beating each other, screaming, and with kids, with everything to get to them. So we get lucky. I was 2.5. What my mom told me about our evacuation is the train in which we be there, where we were. It wasn't running as supposed to be because of the bombs. The Messerschmitts, this is the planes of Germans, they was coming and they was bombing railroads and the trains. And when they started bombing, everybody from the train stopped, and everybody got out and ran in the field. My mom got 2 of us. I was like 2.5, and my older brother, he was like 7, 8. What she did, when they bombing, then they was flying and shooting from shotguns, people who was laying. And she laying over me. And I was always screaming, "Mommy, it's heavy, you hurt me." So she was ready to get a bullet, my bullet to her. Of course. In school, I was, my father was sent in Ukraine town called Oleshne to be a director of brick factory. And I was only child there. And my time it was 7 years old. So he hired from another place a teacher for me. And she taught me. That's why I speak Ukrainian. But later we moved to Gomel, and I finished school. My father was chief of engineers there. So I used to live there, and I finished high school there. And then I got an academy. They started to sing all damaging songs about this guy, about Jews. And I'm going, they don't touch me because I'm a fighter. My grandpa gave me good lesson after that. He always talked to me. Lesson not to take inside all this. Because people live miserable life. They have no food, they have no future, they have nothing. They have to have somebody worse than them. Somebody to be powerful, to show your power over somebody who weak. And Jews is good for that, because they weak. People saying and they taking, and they taking, and they taking. So if you want to fight, he said, you have all rights to fight, but you have to assume you win or you don't. Some of them, yes, they tried not to show openly. I was working as, I got under me big production shop and technology and design bureau. And director was sent to us from Minsk, from capital. And this director was anti-Semite, open anti-Semite. No, absolutely not. They spoke a lot about the war, but if you don't speak even, you go, you find some military equipment, trenches, scalps. It's still there. It's like a couple of years after war, so it's evidence a lot. We were going to forest, guys, and we looked for bombs and we put them in a fire and they blew up. And one time I was almost killed because it blew up before time. So that was dangerous. They ignored Jews who was killed in a war, in army or like that, like Holocaust. They tried to cover this up. Jews wasn't fight. Jews is chickens. They are not people. They are, if you give them a rifle, he will bend 90 degrees to shoot around the corner because they're afraid, Jews. That's why, by the way, we talk about that, I will tell you. That's when I was 19 and a half, and I finished already college, pre-college. I decided to prove to myself that I'm not a chicken. I went to places where no normal people work. It's just those who criminals and no Jews whatsoever. When I came there, to be short, I was killed almost in first day. They did a fight just in the beginning. Yes, then later I got support because he said I'm a very brave man. My grandpa was religious, and he was ready to die for that. My mom, she knew everything, but she never ever hold anything. And my father also knew, but not like that. He was raised in family who knows Yiddish, who knows the rules, but never, even his parents, they didn't. You can't over there celebrate holidays. It's forbidden. So people was going every year, change the house. But the neighbors, they see chimney, it goes smoke. Oh, that Jews making, as they call it, police. And they coming and arrested. Absolutely.
Did you hear anything?
No.
Did you get any inkling?
Even in Ukraine, there is a place, Babi Yar, and poetry was written by Yevtushenko. It's a Russian guy, Russian guy. He describes in poetry about how Jews was killed, murdered, so many there. It's forbidden. You can't say that. You can't, because Jews chicken and nobody killed them. I didn't want to come here. I want to get in any place, just from there. In Africa, and then in Moscow, my younger brother was finished MGU. This is a very fine institution, which were very difficult to get in. He left to Israel. We started to talk to him, and we decided. Everybody was afraid to be pictured, and KGB goes after us and picture everybody. They pictured us, and if you in that picture, they will ask you, why are you there? I have no idea, and I didn't know they were working for KGB. But they were miserable. I see their look so terrible, and I said, listen, what's happened? He said, you have 3 rubles. And we sat down in the cafeteria, and he said, you saved my life today. I will tell you something, but you never ever say anybody. And he told me that KGB has on every man a book. On lifetime, not to be arrested, you have 2 books. But when second book close with all what somebody said about you, then you're arrested. And then they will find you what to say, why. And he said, in mine, it's left 2 pages. And he said, you should close your mouth and don't talk anymore at all, even with your wife. Don't say anything like that. We did it easy, very easy for us, and we came to place, to KGB station. They invite us for conversation before they permit. No.
You came here.
We came by accident because we didn't know we can go somewhere else. And man who met us, he spoke Russian, and he said, we are good people because you decided to go to Israel. I said, what, we could decide something else? He said, of course. This is free world, this is not Soviet Union. I will tell you honestly, I can't say differently. The world goes down the drain because the utopia ideas from Karl Marx and Friedrich Engels and Lenin and Stalin coming here in Europe. Europe is always revolutionary, France and others. I can somehow understand, but what is going on here is not explainable to me. We are, in my opinion, and I am honest, we go in free fall. It's just miracle can stop. Anti-Semitism is always raised when it's something not very good. And anti-Semitism now is much bigger even when I came here. In Europe, even in here, it's a lot. don't be quiet. Many people want to be polite. They don't say what they think and what they see. This is worse than enemy, because enemy you can see, enemy you can fight, and these people, they do damage, very, very big damage, and no can see. And this is very dangerous.